What's up, guys? It's Chachi Barry here for Rocket Punch Army. Today I'm going to do a quick look at two little vintage Zamongo figures. It's actually Iron Gear here at the bottom and Zabungle up top here from the show Zabungle. If you watched the last couple of videos I put up, I was rather pissed off at some expensive items I've received that are either defective or breaking as I do a review, so took a break for a sec and just wanted to just go back into my collection and look for vintage stuff that doesn't piss me off. And although this has recently been added to my collection thanks to a friend of mine that gave me this as a Christmas gift, which, by the way, if you're watching, thank you very much. This is amazing stuff. He knows I've been looking for this Iron Gear down here for a while, and it was just amazing that I was able to get this, especially in time for Christmas. So I wanted to share this with you guys, and although I wouldn't necessarily call these not expensive, because you know, prices for these lately have gone up, but originally they were not. What I want to do is start off with this guy here, Zabungle. I have the plastic ones, the knockoffs and the Kmart versions, and there happens to be a Japanese version that comes in this type of box, which is actually die cast. If you look at the legs here, you'll see the die cast. The box is rather simple. I can't imagine this costing more than a couple bucks back in the day. Nice little styrofoam tray. It's got a nice window which is still intact, which is awesome. This comes off easily, and we are left here with the figure itself, and there's a card at the bottom. I don't believe there's anything behind the card. There's nothing shaken, so it's just the Zabungle card there, and nice styrofoam tray. And here is the actual figure. Alright, guys, here is good old Zabungle. I'm going to put him here on the spinning display so you guys can see him all around without having my huge hands in the way. So you'll notice the lower half is just pure die-cast metal. And not only is it die-cast metal, but it's got a nice sheen to it. Now the top half is blue plastic. So obviously this was meant to be like a cheap toy just to pick up for your kid so he stops crying. So there is no leg articulation, although the legs are, you know, separate from the upper body. There's not much movement aside from just it hanging there, and there's no knee. Now it does have the little wheel sets that are on the hips, which do spin around. Also on the arm, they're a little tight, so I'm not going to bother spinning them, but you can tell they do turn. The one wheel here is facing forward, the one here is facing back. The arms do spin. Again, they're tight. I'm not going to force it. The wings do seem to pivot here also. Again, not going to try it too much. You'll see just a little slight movement. This is almost like that Spinal Tap part where he's not allowed to touch the guitar because it's going to break. That's how I feel right now. So let's just leave that alone. Let you enjoy that for a second, and then we will move on to the next one. This is not the actual one that I'm going to show you that's in the box. I did want to show you this little robot because it was very instrumental in my eventual collecting of robots, because the strange name it had, Zabungle, just kept ringing in my head for years until I discovered Google and Googled it and found out, you know, all the history behind it, and became an even bigger fan of all things that are robot. So this is very important to me, a lot of sentimental value. I went so far as to restore this after buying an amazing amount of these, only to find out most of them were just Taiwan knockoffs. I did manage to find one Sunrise one which matches the writing on the back here, made in Taiwan, and I was able to piece back what I needed, what's missing. The only thing, I've never been able to source another antenna. I don't want to use a bootleg one. I want to keep this as original as possible. So, a little story behind that one before I get onto this one. This one is important because even after I found that Sunrise one, I still needed to find this to just, I guess that's the completest in me. I needed to have it. That's what makes me even more happy that I received this as a gift. I mean, this is like the perfect gift. But here's a box. It's got a nice window design. The card inside is also windowed, and here it's got a nice illustration. Pretty simple, basic colors. You get to the side here, it shows the the landship mode of iron gear, and here's the instructions on the back. Now, because this one is so valuable to me, I'm not gonna go crazy. I will take it out to show you the differences between the Taiwan version and the Japanese, but I'm not going to be transforming this one. So I'm going to show you the landship mode, which is shown back here. I'll do that with my original, since that's been transformed a billion times and nothing's ever happened. So we'll put that aside first, and then I'll show you the transformation. Just make sure, if you want to know more info on this little guy, I did a review on my Chachi Power channel, so make sure you check that out. Basically, pop the top half off, just hinge it back, open this, flatten it out, and lay this here. You remove the fist, push the arms up, bring this wing down, hold this back, and then the head goes up. And I think either the antennas go up or they straighten out, I'm not sure. But in any case, this is how it is. And another thing, this does have missile shooting. Oh, you want to spin these around too, so they're facing forward. It does have a missile firing mechanism, so ultra cool, cheap, and transformable. The simple toy might not interest you newer guys, you youngins, you know, but it's always nice to go back into robot history and check some stuff out. So I do want to show you this with the Japanese one, for those of you out there interested in seeing the difference. Alright guys, I've opened it up. I've just had an OMG moment. This thing is so much better than the bootleg so far. The bootleg trays are usually completely destroyed and damaged, and everything's intact. Like, there's nothing missing. Both missiles for the firing mechanism are still there. Fists are still there. These cannons are here. But then you'll notice the little turrets are missing, which they always do get lost, which are on this guy, and they do fall off a lot, or they bend or snap off. So the defining moment of this opening was when I took this apart, and look at that, they're on a tree. I don't remember the bootleg or the Sunrise version having them on a tree, but look at that. This just, I don't know, I'm speechless actually. So thanks again to my friend who got me this. I would mention his name, but just in case he doesn't want to be mentioned. So let's take this bad boy out and check them side by side. Alright guys, here we got them side by side. You'll notice they're almost identical in their molding. This is probably based off the same exact mold, except this is so much sharper. The plastic, right away you can tell it's so much better. The plastic is heavier, and just, I'm so used to this one, which feels like it almost feels like that soft kind of soapy plastic, and then just this, you can tell there's a big effing difference in quality. So even though this has a lot of sentimental value, I'm sorry dude, but this one kicks your ass completely. Now it doesn't have the markings on the back, on the wing, like this one does. I keep mentioning Sunrise. That's just in case you guys don't know what Sunrise is. It's basically who they got the license from. So even though this is a Taiwan version, it is licensed. Has a, you know, the year on it, which I believe is 83. So, and it does say Zabungle on the original box. And you just have to be careful, because there are bootlegs that say Iron Car, which are cool. Those are the ones I've mostly ended up with on my search. But if you want it cheap, that's where to look, Iron Car. Now, this does have markings on the leg, and you'll use. Let me see if I can put them side by side. The molding is so much sharper. I don't know if that's visible on camera as much as having it in my hand. It feels so nice to do a review without something breaking, so I'm pretty happy. I'm going to call it a night, work on the other stuff that's going to go up, and until next time guys, you know, leave questions or comments below, subscribe, do whatever, and that's it. Till next time, bye.